Hey guys, how you doing? It's Tuesday night again. Welcome along. So, it's warmed up a bit this end of the world. So I don't know what it's like further north of here, but yeah, it was. You could almost wear a t-shirt outside today, almost. Yeah. Beagle Bob, good to have you in here on time again. Awesome, well done. Josh Homan, how are you, man? Good to have you along. Hope you've all got yourself a bourbon to keep things lubricated for the evening. Paul Funk from Colorado, welcome along, man. How you doing? As you can see, I'm back in my normal location. Our house painters have finished painting, and kind of got my man cave almost back to where it was. Who else we got? Jay Russell Finch. Hey man, how you doing? Granddad's a chunk. G'day, brotherhood. Tech bits and pieces. 2 weeks in a row. I have time to watch this. Yay. Well, good. Glad to have you along, man. John M. Hello. The Do. Good evening. Good evening, sir. Good to have one of my moderators in the room. Dickie Farley. Hey guys. So what's new? What's happening? What's going on? What's the hot topics? Who wants to know what? Nathan McRae, welcome along. So, well, I had, okay, no one's asking questions, so I'll tell you what I've been up to today. Today, I actually stumbled across a 74 F100 truck that is down in the towing yard that has been basically towed away from somewhere, I don't know where, but now belongs to the towing yard, and I might be able to buy it. It's a 302 truck, or at least it was a 302 truck. It's got a small block Ford engine in it now, but it's got the wrong oil pan on it. It's got the front, like a earlier Mustang style pan on it, with the main bowl at the front, which is in the way of the cross member. So they've got the engine kind of in the hole, and it's set up on some blocks, and it's kind of a bit of a mess. It's reasonably solid truck. It does need some front floor pans in it, which come with the truck. They were sitting inside. Needs, I'm sure it needs brakes, tires. It needs an engine, which I've got. It's a 3-speed manual on the floor change jobby. So I've got a 302 and an auto, and I've got a 302 and a manual, a 4-speed manual, if I could make the 4-speed shifter work in a truck location. But I mean, someone's put the 3-speed shifter in it, so should be able to put the 4-speed in, I'm thinking. So yeah, I kind of tempted. It's if I can get it at the right price, it might make some good. Needs a little bit of work in the bed. The cab corners at the back have got a little bit of rust damage in it. Bottom of the front fender's got a bit of rust in it. It's essentially a pretty solid truck. Like I've seen better, but I've seen a lot worse. And I'm kind of tempted. What do you guys think? Just throw an old 302 in it and drive it? Now, what else have we got going on here? Now, tech bits and picks. What's next for Marge after the floors are done? Getting that electric seat working. Now, I've been working on that using that electrolysis system where you hook a battery charger into it, and you put some washing soda in the water and just hang it there and let it sort of pickle away. And I got to tell you, I was a little skeptical. I've seen quite a bit of it on YouTube, people doing it for, cleaning up old crescent wrenches or old pliers and stuff like that, getting the rust off them. And the seat mechanism that kind of goes backwards and forwards and lifts the seat up and down was just a rusted mass. Like there's no way in the world it was ever going to move. I mean, we didn't. When I got the seat out of that donor car, we didn't have to unbolt it. We just lifted it up and carried it into the back of the truck. So yeah, it's pretty rusty, and it's taken a week on and off because I've not been able to keep the battery charger on it all the time because I've had, I mean, Murphy's Law. I've had a bunch of sorry, I'm just getting rid of something on the computer. Had a bunch of cars, wanting their batteries charged, so I've had to I've only got one battery charger. Typically, that's more than enough. But yeah, whenever you want to leave it on for 48 hours, there's something else needs the battery charged up. So I've been kind of chipping away at it for about a week, and I'm absolutely staggered at how clean it has become, and how much rust gets transferred onto these anodes, I think they call them. The sacrificial bits of steel that you put in there to make one side of the connection. That they just sit in the water washing soda solution, and that transfers rust from one to from the piece you're trying to save to the to the sacrificial piece, and it's amazing how much rust transfers. And I've got one side completely freed up and apart. And now I'm kind of giving them one more go round, separate pieces, and one side should be ready to go, I'm hoping. But yeah, I'm doing an as I go video, so that'll be coming out soon. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. I was a little skeptical about how effective it would be, but man, it's I'm super impressed by how well it's removing the rust, and for such a minuscule amount of money. Like it would cost me $5 in washing soda. I had a big, tote, which I just filled up with water, got a battery charger, got plenty of old scrap steel, throw it all together, plug it in, walk away. And it's about 99% rust free as we speak. And I'm staggered by it. That's what's next for Marge. Now, James Martin, g'day from Massachusetts, where cars don't last 10 years. No, I'll bet they don't. Roy Miller, hey Kiwi, hey, good to have you along, man. Granddad's junk, has anyone done any work on hydrogen fuel? Well, certainly not me at all. Not even a hint of a clue on that stuff, I'm afraid. John M, ever hear of a late 60s, early 70s Ford stock fuel pumps having too much pressure for an Edelbrock car? No, not typically. Not typically, no. That's a little unusual. How much pressure is too much pressure? Tech bits and pieces. F100, how rough is it? Yeah, I mean, that's a tricky one to quantify. It certainly looks rough right now. But it's got some decent bones. It's a power steer truck from the factory. It's got the bench seating that's in really good condition. It needs a windshield. I mean, it needs paint if you want to make it night, or you can just leave it as a survivor, which is probably what I do. But yeah, a little bit of love, and a new engine. Someone's put a new radiator in it. There's some new bits in it. And there's some very not so new bits in it, but it's I've seen way worse, and so I think it's very savable in my opinion. Josh Homan, go for it, sir. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that way because I bought that little red GMC Canyon, and it's a decent little truck, but it doesn't really fit with Kiwi Classics and Customs. It's quite nice to drive. It's that more modern era with it. It's just that it's quite easy to drive. It doesn't rattle and clank like the old trucks do, but it doesn't kind of. The old F100 seems to just go with the business a bit better, I'm thinking. Tech bits and pieces. If you get the F100, auto would be the go. Makes it an easier ute to drive. Well, this is true. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, that's probably, I've got both options, so that's kind of the easier decision at the end of the day. Um, yeah, I don't think it's not really a hot rod truck. I mean, I guess it could be, but it's a long wheelbase. It's an 8-foot bed. It's not typically what some of the guys are making, real powerhouse hot rod trucks out of it. I don't think it's one of those. So yeah, just a 302 auto would be more than adequate. Beagle Bob sounds like a good project. I'd like to put a wood bed in an older truck that needs some love. Yeah, I don't know whether the 74 F100 doesn't really lend itself to a wood bed because the sides are kind of pressed and molded round-ish. So I'm not sure where you'd start the wood. You might be able to put the wood just in the middle section, maybe. Something that can be looked in. The bed is a bit thin, as in little 1/8-inch holes appearing in places where it's just getting quite thin, the bed. So it needs some work, and I've just got to look into what's available for it, what it might cost, how much work is involved, and kind of make a decision on what it might be worth to me. Tech bits and pieces. I can imagine the corroded contacts and wiring due to the age of large March. Yeah, the wiring is actually seems to be okay. That's not giving any trouble. Well, I'm saying that, the dash lights kind of come and go a little bit. You'll hit a bump and they'll go out, and so. But other than the dash lights, it's pretty good. It didn't really take much at all to get the lights up and running when we first kind of got her going over in San Diego. Clean a few contacts in the tail lights and stuff like that. Connect a wire in the back, for the license tag light and stuff like that to drive it back with, and that's not given any trouble since then. So I probably would like to rewire it one day at some point, because that from the factory, that car has no fuses at all. It doesn't have a fuse box. So if you've got a direct short, you've kind of got an issue. But yeah, for reasons known only to Mopar, they did not put. I spent probably 40 minutes trying to find the fuse box, thinking it's got to be here. There's got to have a fuse box. It must be hidden somewhere where I'm not used to seeing it. But nope, no fuse box whatsoever. Beagle Bob, can't go wrong with a 302 and a 4-speed. I've been hoarding a Borg-Warner T10 and a 4R70 with the small block forward bolt pattern. Yeah, it's a good thing to have under the bench, which is what I've got. I mean, mine's not a 4R70. The auto I've got is just an old C4. That'd be all right. J. Russell Finch. So you've got another noisy speedo cable. Have you done marges yet, J. Russell Finch? Man, when I do get that done, I'm gonna have to send you a personal email to let you know, so you can be the first person in America to know that Marge has had her speedo cable fixed. I did fix his noisy speedo cable on the 55 Chevy truck this week that I've got in the shop, and videos coming on that soon too. And all the noise was coming inside the head, like the little disc that spins behind the needle. That was just making a heck of a racket, like way noisier than Marge's, like way noisier. And I just plugged a speedo cable into it, set the cordless drill onto it, and oiled it up and ran it both directions for a while. Put some more oil in it, ran it again, put some more oil in it, ran it again, and just got it freed up. And it's nice and quiet now. It repaired up quite nicely, but it was the head, not the cable. And I don't know what Marge's issue is, whether it's the head, the speedo head, or the cable. I'm really not sure. Yeah, I'm getting behind already. Here we go. Phil Buckley, welcome along, bud. Tech bits and pieces. As you go, videos are good to see how anything you work on comes around. Yeah. Well, that's what I try and do. But sometimes, it's just, oil change and fix a tail light that's not working, and adjust the brakes. It's not very exciting videoing, unless the car's interesting. But yeah, I'll do. We'll wrap up this video on the 55 Chevy truck because it's not a bad one tomorrow, so we'll get that coming to you shortly. Don's Manufactory. Hello, Mr. Kiwi from chilly Portland, Oregon. Mate, it's not bad at all here. It's not cold. I don't think we're back into spring just yet, but it warmed up from a couple of weeks ago, I can tell you. Blue Hill Cemetery. Paul Rubens is sneaking up on you, mate, but it looks like he's still far back. Okay, Paul Rubens, is he another YouTuber? Don't know him. Is he catching up on subscribers, is he? What's that about? What? Granddad's Junk. I recently picked up a hydrogen generator that can go on an engine. I've got 2 units. Maybe the 318 Poly and the 58 Savoy could be a good experiment. Well, why not? I don't know. I don't know anything about hydrogen. Doesn't like an internal combustion engine actually run on the hydrogen as opposed to gasoline? And then you just have to produce the hydrogen. I think is how it works. Is that right? Andy Nickel, yo, Kiwi, Quaker State bourbon tonight. No, not Quaker State. Hey, these are a trick. This is a little typical Chinese stuff, right? You use your can of oil, right? Not so much. See, that's like a movie prop, right? But it's kind of cool. Yeah, Driveway of Misfits. Good day, evening all. How are you, mate? Tech bits and dash light going out sounds like a bad earth. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think you're right, especially with the way it comes and goes. Not that it's got a fuse to pop, but the way it you hit a bump and it goes out, comes on, is probably. I mean, I just need to take the dash out, look at that speedo, go through the contacts and the wiring and that kind of stuff, and just make sure it's up to scratch. Granddad's Junk. G'day, Chris, brother. How are you, man? You were talking to Chris Freemasson, not me. I'm thinking, okay, I got you. Okay, I forget Driveway of Misfits is actually Chris Freemasson. Chris, didn't I see you on Cold War Motors live stream? But you were turning up showing us Chris Freemasson, I think. Now I got that all ass backwards. Tech bits. Wow, no fuses. The AP6 Valiant I owned as a teen only had 2 fuses in the whole car. Well, that's 2 more than Marge has got, man. Yeah, I was really shocked not to have anything. I guess maybe at some time it had like a fusible link up the front, but that's gone. If it did have one, it's gone. It's all hardwired in now. So, which is a little, it does make me a little nervous. As you say, with old brittle wiring, it could, something could make a contact at some point, and then it's pretty quickly they can burn to the ground, Dr. Art, hey man, how you doing? Yeah. I was just telling the guys I might be buying a truck that we can line up against Big Richard, a 74 F100. It's blue as well. So that's a little bit of a project, a little bit like Big Richard was. Big Granddad's Junk. He was chatting. Yeah. Andy Nickel, if I lived down south near you, I'd do the woodwork for you. I could do an awesome bed with the salvaged wood, cheaper than buying pre-made. Oh, really? Yeah, I guess you could put a wood bed in it. We're going to have a closer look. It seemed like the sides came down and then came in about about 8 or 10 inches from the side of the bedside, and then like the center section with all the corrugations were in like a straight rectangular panel. So it's not kind of like the Chevy beds. But yeah, I guess you could put the wood in that, very center section, which could, give it a cool look. Now, Cordell B, I have an 84 Toyota pickup two-wheel drive. I saw a company makes bolt pattern adapters to fit the wide 5 VW wheels. Is that acceptable in your expert opinion? Toyota pickup. The wide 5 VW wheels. I'm not sure which wheels those are. Look, wheel adapters are, they're not my first choice. I'll be honest with you. And if they're very thick, they need to be. You got to be careful not going too thick on them, unless the wheels you put on have a lot of backspace. Then you can kind of get away with a little bit thicker. What you don't want is a thick spacer and then a deep dish, so that you end up with the wheels like wide out, because it just loads the bearing. There's too much leverage over the bearings, and it just loads them up too much. But yeah, decent quality set of bolt pattern adapters is not the worst thing. I mean, if you're doing some hardcore racing, or you're putting hardcore horsepower through it, then I think a little bit harder about it. But yeah, they're not the best thing ever, but they're not the worst either. Just remember, the wider you end up with the track of the car, the further out the wheels are from where the wheel bearings are, and that load is just multiplied out like dramatically as you go wider and wider. But if you put more of a front drive late model backspace on them, where you've got quite a bit more backspace than you have out, you can kind of get away with the spacers / adapters. Now, where have we got here? Andy Nickel, did you see the bed Dennis Taylor made for his COE? No, I did not. Is he on YouTube? That name's familiar, but I'm trying to think of his channel, if he's got one. Josh Homan, he played Pee Wee Herman. Okay, I might have missed something there. What you talking about there, Josh? Driveway of Misfits. I've seen vintage oil cans that were actually Bluetooth speakers for the garage. Yeah, there's all sorts out there, man. Blue Hill Cemetery. Kiwi Paul Rubens is Pee Wee. Kiwi Paul Rubens is Pee Wee. A perspective joke. Okay. I think I missed something there. Which happens. Trying to read it as fast as I can and answer you guys. Tech bits and pieces. Early modern Holdens were notorious for bad earths, with the tail lights going out when the brakes applied, and the same with dash lights. Yeah, earths or grounds. That's the biggest issue that I have with electrics on old cars. And I think I've said it before, like on the lives. If we've got a car doing weird stuff, just go through, fix all the grounds, add grounds, clean them up, replace them, whatever you got to do. Focus on the grounds, and then have a look and see what problems are still left. And 9 times out of 10, there's no problems left. It's all grounds. Driveway of Misfits. I was on his Patreon only drive stream. Oh, okay. Just with the elite few, huh? I've been looking at this Patreon thing and wondering about that. When I was on his live stream the other night, I was amazed how many people were giving him super chats. He had one guy gave him like $100 super chat, and I'm like, wow, I have not had a super chat yet, and I don't know whether it's because I'm my setup doesn't allow it, or just nobody wants to give me one. But yeah, I haven't had a super chat as yet. But I don't know. Like, I don't know much about this stuff. I was impressed that I managed to actually figure out how to even do a live stream. So there you are. But yeah, maybe I haven't clicked the right link to allow super chats. I don't honestly know. Strange Customs. Look, I made to a chat, but not for long. It's mid-arvo here in Thames. Replacing the springs on the Springer with new ones while I wait for the new ECM to turn up. Okay. That's all right, mate. As long as you're here, that's for as long as you can. It's all good, man. Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab. I'll take the Ford in trade. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're a bit of a Ford man too, aren't you? Strange Customs. Sorry, Dr. Art, the Ford has found a home. Yeah, there's a definite chance I'll buy it. We just got to come up with an agreeable price between me and the towing company. So I know what it owes the towing company, and that's what it costs them to tow it away. So we'll see how. I did them a very, very good deal a couple of years back on a car. A very, very, very good deal on a car a few years back, and so hopefully it'll come back to me in that respect. So yeah, watch this space. There may be a blue Ford truck on the horizon, and then we can go racing with Big Richard. See whether a Mopar's faster than a Ford. Who knows? The Mopar's got a bigger engine, so Driveway of Misfits. Cordell B, are you talking about the pre-68 VW wheels with the large openings in the centre? I did wonder that, yeah, but I thought, no, surely, well, would somebody want to put those on a Toyota Hilux? Maybe. It'll be interesting to know what he's kind of up to there. Beagle Bob, do you do many custom panels or just when they aren't available like Marge's floor? Yeah, just when they aren't available like Marge's floor. Honestly, it's these days it's so much a time and money exercise. If you're patching up a Mustang rear quarter, well, I could make those patch panels, or I could buy like a $90 skin, rear quarter skin, and then cut out the pieces that I need that are already stamped and pretty close to the right shape. For a $90 skin, that's less than an hour's work, and you can't make a custom paint patch panel in under an hour. You just can't. Not if it's got any detail to it. If it's around a wheel arch or the very bottom of the quarter at the back, between the wheel arch and the rear bumper and stuff like that, you can't make those shapes in under an hour. There's just no way. So yeah, usually, we'll buy a patch panel and then love on it a little to make it fit. Usually to make them try and fit a bit better than what they get stamped as. But like doing that floor panel in March, that took a solid day to do that. It was a half-hour video, but the reality was it was the best part of a day to get that all done, welded in, ground off, finished. Cutting the old one out. Because remember, that video started, the hole was already in the floor. So, I'd already cut all that out, picked out the spot welds, what was left spot welded in, ground it and cleaned it and did all that kind of messing around. So, yeah, it's if you're honest about it, it takes, there's a few phone interruptions and things like that. But, yeah, it was the best part of a day. Granddad's drunk. I know you're a Ford fan, but our Greymouth Rod show, there was a hot rod Hupmobile. Very different, but very nice. Yes, I am a Ford fan. I'm a Mopar fan. I'm a Chevrolet fan. I'm a Pontiac fan. Hupmobiles. Yeah. Um, uh, if it's cool, if it's a little different, I'm a fan of it. I really am. There's lots of European stuff I like. Yeah. So yes, well, I mean, I guess probably the most votes would fall with Ford. But honestly, if I had to choose a car, people say to me, what's your favourite car? And I don't really have an absolute favourite. But as far as looks, class, like just neat stuff that really makes my eyes sparkle kind of thing is those 8, 9 Mopars. I just think, that they just beat everything else hands down. I mean, the mechanicals and stuff, that's a whole nother argument. But for the looks of the exterior of the car, those 3 years of Mopar were just the best, in my opinion. Maybe that's why I bought Marge. Cord LB, yes, 5 by 205 millimeters for reproduction early Porsche 911 wheels. Okay. Hey, that might look kind of cool on a little Japanese or what do they call them? JDM little truck. That's a neat idea. I'll give you that. It's a neat idea. I'd like to see a picture of that. That'd be cool. Driveway of misfits. Those old rims are hard to balance. Need special adapters that most places tossed out years ago. Yeah, there's no hole in the centre of them. Oh, is there? No, hang on, there is. Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking of a different wheel. Of course, the VW ones had, but I'm not sure about the Porsche wheels. Yeah, they would have. They'd need a huge adapter to go on a wheel balancing machine, wouldn't they? Interesting. Driveway of Misfits. Paul Rubens was the actor who played Pee Wee Herman. Okay, I see. I got you. Oh, look at that. Tech Bits. My first super chat. I really wasn't trying to. I didn't. Yeah. Okay. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Thank you, sir. It's not why I said it, but hey, I appreciate it. That's very cool. Kiwi, James Martin. Rubens is right behind you. Yes, he is right there. And he came all the way from South Carolina. Fitzgeralding brought that in, came for a visit to the shop, brought Pee Wee with him, and donated him to Marge. So, yeah, there he is, looking like he looks like he's stood in a drum of Quaker Straight right now, doesn't he? But, yeah, that was just where I happened to stick the can. Tech Bits and Pieces. The super chat icon is at the bottom of the chat window. Oh, is that what that is? So it is. A little dollar sign. There you go. See, it works. Wow. Tech Bits and Pieces. I owe you bourbon, mate. One day. Driveway of Misfits. Cold War Motors is criminally undersubscribed. His Patreon users are basically how he makes a living. Yeah, I mean, good on him for doing the Patreon, but I mean, yeah, why not? It's I mean, I've looked at that. I've thought about doing the Patreon, and for me, I don't feel like I put out enough videos to be able to offer something special to the Patreon. The people that spend the money on Patreon, you've got to be able to give them. I mean, they're paying money for something extra, so you've got to be able to give them something extra. And I just need to be in a place where I can actually offer that. I don't want to just like stick my hand out like I just did with Tech Bits, asking for money, because I've got customers coming in the shop every day, giving me money to work on their car. So Cold War Motors, yeah, he doesn't really do customer stuff. So yeah, his money, he is pretty much reliant on on YouTube and his Patreon to keep his whole car restoration game rolling. And that's how he does it, and good for him. I'll be honest, quite like to get to that point where I can just work on my stuff, and get a little bit of financial help doing it, and in return give the viewers something to watch, something they enjoy, and everybody's happy, which is the name of the game. Hang on, we just missed it. Driveway of Misfits. Put $2. Put this towards Kev next bailout from jail. Yes, okay, I'll do that. We'll have a little Kev the Kiwi bail fund. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Tech Bits Towing Company will probably want to make a few dollars on the F100. Yeah, probably. But as I say, he does kind of owe me one. So, yeah, hopefully, it's a case of what goes around comes around. It was no skin off my nose to. It's a long story that I'm not going to go into, but I was able to give him an extremely good deal on a car, and it was no skin off my nose. I didn't lose anything on it. He gained a whole lot. So hopefully that's not forgotten, and he'll. I think it's fair that I pay something for it, but just hopefully not too much, But we'll see. If he wants $1,500 for it, I'll probably pass because I don't think it's worth that. But we'll see. Cordell B. It was a very common 80s mini truck trend, lowered on 911 wheels. Most changed the truck bolt pattern to fit back. Changed the truck's bolt pattern to fit back then, I believe. Okay, interesting. Just an option you've considered. Fair enough. James Martin, English wheel, tons of patience, multiple sections. Yeah, you can do most things on an English wheel and a few other power tools. And yeah, it's but it's that time. The patience is not so bad, but it's the time and being able to hand the customer a bill for a lot of money, because you spend 2 or 3 days making panels, and they're very expensive panels. Orlando Pockets. Hey, it's Kiwi Herman. That's right, Kiwi. That's where the whole Kiwi's Big Adventure, Kiwi's Big Adventure. That's the way that whole thing started, and how Marge got her name Marge, and yeah, it all fits together, Orlando Pockets. I'd love a Reuben sandwich, please. There you go. J. Russell Finch is in the room. You retracted your message. Oh, okay. Oh well. Chime back in with something, buddy. All right, where are we up to? Tech Bits and Pieces. That's not why I did it either. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, sir. Orlando Pockets. That floor work you did on Marge is just next level. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm prepping Marge just in one day. It may go back to New Zealand. One day, I don't know when. It may go back to New Zealand, and they're very, very strict on rust repair work. So it has to be done, at a high level. Otherwise, they'll just fail it. So I'm making sure that whatever I do to Marge is going to fly in New Zealand, because she may well end up back there one day, maybe. What else we got? Granddad's junk. The floors came out sap. Okay, superb. That ridging tool did a great job. Yeah, it really did. And that's a bang for your buck. Those bead rollers, I think. Okay, I'm not sure what they are today, but I've had that for 10 years now, I suppose. And it was like $140 tool, and it's like, that's paid for itself 100 times over. James Martin, at Kiwi and Orlando Pockets, was having fun. Took it too far. Back to the juice and enjoying the chat. Okay. Uh, Orlando Pockets, I was a little surprised when you did the work on Marge floors that the lines just stayed where they were. All that rolling didn't stretch them to new points. Is that just practice? You do have to try and factor that in a little bit, because each time it does a little step, it takes a little bit of length. It does stretch, but it does shrink the overall panel size a little bit. So you kind of got to know where to be a little bit. When you're rolling down the line, you can kind of stay to the left side of the line a bit or to the right side of the line, and it's that much. We're only talking like 1/16 of an inch, that sort of thing. And that's a little bit of practice doing it a few times, and you just get to know, well, I'll give it a little bit more this way or a little bit more that way. And yeah, and the other thing is too, you can, and I've had to do this before, because the ones I managed did come up pretty good, in all honesty, but you can sometimes manipulate the little grooves in either the panel you've made or the car, if they just end up, a little bit off, not quarter of an inch, but a 1/16 to an eighth, you can fudge with a hammer and dolly a little bit and just kind of work it one way or work it the other way, be it either in the car or in the new section. So you've got a little bit of wiggle room. Beagle Bob, servicing my transmission on the power stroke was easier than I expected. Stuck a finger in the fill port to check the level before I drained, and it looked brand new. So I came inside to have a drink. Well, that's a pretty quick and easy transmission service, isn't it? Yeah, you put your finger in, you came out with clean oil, happy man. There you go. Don's Manufactory. I chose not to monetize, at least not yet. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, if you've got the numbers are there and you've got enough hours, it's not there's no reason not to monetize, really. I wouldn't have thought. But yeah, you've got to have the amount of subscribers, and you've got to have I think it was 4,000 hours of video time, of views. Which when you're working up to that, takes a little while. Takes as the channel gains momentum, 4,000 hours is like, is not very much anymore. But when you're trying to get there, it's surprisingly large amount. Orlando Pockets, give it the old nudge. Yeah, there you go. Driveway of Misfits. What are your thoughts on flushing a cooling system on a car that's sat 20 years? Use a radiator flushing chemical or just flush it out with water? I would flush through as much water as you can initially, and then use a chemical flushing, because if it's sat for a long time and there's quite a bit of sludge in there, a lot of it will just wash out without any chemical help to dislodge it. So when if there's a lot of sludge in there, you put the chemical in there, the chemical works on stuff that's and kind of wears itself out on getting stuff that would just flush out anyway. So I try and get it running as clean as I can, just with water, and then put the chemical cleaner in. Because I feel like you waste a lot of the active formula in the chemical on stuff would just come out with a hose anyway. And if I'm really trying to, I've actually clamped the hose pipe onto one of the heater fittings and created a hose as the feed. Take the thermostat out and then just run it with a bottom hose. The other end, the other heater hose just coming out to ground, and just let it flush through and you just leave it and running, and you got to keep an eye on the temperature, make sure it doesn't get too hot, and because they flush much better when they're up at full operating temperature, and just wait till the water runs clean and then seal it up again and then put the chemical in. And run the chemical for a couple of days. Like if you can drive the car around, great, but leave it in for a few days. and let it run around and heat cycle a few times, and just let it eat as much as it can. J. Russell Finch, hammer forming with a chaser, chisel looking tool to create pans and such. Same with a blocking hammer and stump to create panels. Yeah, you can. Yeah, absolutely, you can do all that. There's a lot of ways of making metal into the shape you want it to. I've done it myself, and I've seen other guys do it. You get a stack of newspaper. People will use a lead shot bag to hammer into to give you, to make a concave kind of shape when you're hammering it from the inside. With a lead shot bag, if you don't have a lead shot bag, get a stack of newspapers. Get like a, I don't know, 5-6 inch thick stack of newspapers, and hammer into that. You'd be surprised how much that works just like a lead shot bag. Doesn't last as long, the newspaper's going to deteriorate. But, if you don't happen to have a lead shot bag, in reach, then, a stack of newspapers works just as good. Dickie Farley, welcome to the room, man. How you doing? Beagle Bob, it killed me a little inside watching the whole saw smoke on a panel. WD-40 is a rust-proofing compound and supposed to create a film that will stick around a while. Old motor oil is good for the price. Yeah, look, that whole saw was, the last time I used it, it was pretty dead. They do wear away eventually. That's cut a lot of holes, that thing. And I knew I was kind of pushing my luck trying to get it through, but I thought, we'll get one more hole out of it. But no, I didn't. And I thought about cutting all that out. But I mean, this is just the same struggles you guys go through as well. I mean, you try and get one more little bit out of the tool, where a drill bit or a hole saw or whatever it is you're using, and you try and get everything out of it you can, and sometimes it doesn't work. So it didn't work. It's real life. What I don't like is watching when people just like tear into a nice new one and just load them up too much and just overheat them and kill them in one or two, cutting one or two holes, and that's just abuse. But that whole saw was probably 10, 12 years old. I bought that very early on after opening the shop, and it's been going forever. And it's time for a new one. I think it's probably worked out to about 3 cents per hole that thing's cut. So can't complain. Orlando Pockets. Oh yeah, the old lead shot bags. I remember those. Yeah, they're really handy to have around because they're a good weight and they don't slide off things, and you hold something down, it doesn't. If you put like a I don't know, like a 5-pound weight from a weightlifter's weight, something like that, that tends to dent panels. But if you use those lead shot bags, they'll just kind of sit and hang on things, and they're really handy to have. Dickie Farley, likes, yes. Give me some likes, guys. It does help with the algorithm, and it helps the channel. And so don't be shy. Hit that like button. Tech bits and pieces. Killing off a whole saw with a couple of cuts equals hack job specialist. Yeah, exactly. That's what I would expect. Old what's his name? The Canadian. Not that Canadians are a problem. Bad Chad. That's the kind of bullshit he'd do. And then blame the tool. Orlando Pockets, my gramps used to use the lead shot bags. Yep. They're definitely old school. They're great things to have. Tech bits, I always smash the like buttons. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. It all, as I say, every little bit helps. J. Russell Finch, auto terminology is so funny. US call it a fender, Oz, New Zealand call it a guard, UK or England call it a wing. Wingers. Yep, and boots and trunks and deck lids, and yeah, it's all the same thing. Um, but yeah, there's lots of little ones like that. When like here, let's 57 Chevy 2-door hardtop. In New Zealand, we would call those a 2-door pillarless, as in because there's no pillar, there's no post. So one we'd call a post a pillar, and when it was a 2-door hardtop car. But I mean, a 2-door post has a hard top on it. It's not a soft top, right? But here in the States, they call it a 2-door hardtop or a 4-door hardtop if there's no pillars. So in New Zealand, we call it pillarless. Lots of little quirks like that. As you say, Jay Russell, yeah, there's lots of them. Steve Magnuson already did hit the like button. Good on you, buddy. Don Ballard, bring any toys back from New Zealand? No, not really. A bunch of candy and or lollies. We see there's another America difference. Here it's candy, like your chocolates and stuff like that. New Zealand, it's lollies. Don't ask me why they call them lollies. They just do. I don't know. But no, that was a bunch of candy, some stuff like, food type products. But really, that was about it. The dude, Kiwi, have you ever won the Rizzler? Okay, I don't know what the Rizzler is. I know what the Riddler is, and certainly haven't won that. But the Rizzler, no. Tell me about that, man. Driveway of Misfits, windscreen, windshield. Yeah, that's one I had to learn because people were like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I got here. And John M. Bonnet, yep. Tech Bits and Pieces. Bad Chad came out here last year to see the Sandown 500. I think Penrite Oils paid for him to come out. Oh, wow, really? Good Lord. I do not understand that. I really try hard not to talk ill of anybody, but that guy just pushes my buttons. I don't understand the appeal. I understand the appeal of his girlfriend, but not him. I don't get it. Beagle Bob, late 13C, shortening of Defender, originally something hung over the side to protect the hull of a ship at warp pier, etc. Indeed. The dude, what's your favourite candy bar? I would say that my favourite is the Whittaker's chocolate, the jelly tip bar. They call it a jelly tip, and that's a white chocolate, like a brown, light brown milk chocolate. Not milk chocolate, but yeah, not a dark chocolate, but a regular chocolate, and with like a jelly filling. So good. If you open a bar of it, it doesn't really matter how big a bar. It's very hard not to walk away from it without finishing it. Beagle Bob, there is a quick Google. What the heck is that word? Google FU etymology report of Fender. Okay. I'll quick Google of etymology, something like that. Yeah, okay. I get what you're saying. There's a lot of different meanings for Fender, absolutely. Jeff R. Hi, Kiwi. Coming in a bit late from dusty, dry Adelaide, South Australia. Well, hey, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it. I know the time frame is not well suited to you guys, so I appreciate you making the effort. Did I miss what distillery tonight's bourbon came from? Actually, nobody asked. This is I'm drinking Weller tonight, which is a really nice bourbon. Wellar, Weller. Actually, or is it ER? Now I think about it, it might be ER, Weller. It's a really nice drop. Orlando Pockets, do you own ride any motorcycles? No, I do not. Um, I do not. Yeah, I had back in the day. I've had a couple of off-road bike like trail bikes and quad bikes. Quite enjoyed quad biking, um, but I'm uh, I tend to be a little aggressive on bikes, and it gets me in trouble, and my body just won't take it anymore, man. It just won't. So I have to make a conscious decision to not ride motorbikes because, the bottom line is I'm a little braver than I am talented, so which is never a good formula. I have to stay away from them. And I tell you, one of the coolest museums I've been to. There's what's it called? There's down here the Barber Motorsports Park, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours south of here, and it's a racetrack. They do a lot of racing there, but they have a huge motorcycle museum there, and they have got some of the coolest bikes there that I've ever seen. And I actually have been there a couple of times, and I'm not that big a motorcycle fan, but I really, really enjoyed that museum. So many off the wall bikes that I've just never heard of, never seen, uh, and it's just a cool place to go to, and it's I quite like studying the design of them, because some bikes like just look really cool, and other bikes they kind of have the makings, but they just don't look that good. And trying to like study them and see where they went wrong or what it was they got right, I quite enjoy that, because some of the bikes it's like, whoa, look at that. That is just that they just grab you, and trying to figure out why that is. I really enjoy that. It's quite cool. Um, Pickle Bob, Google foo like kung fu. Okay, I got it. I got you. Well, where we go to max level Kiwi. Were you named the bourbon ambassador to New Zealand by the new administration? No, no, I was not. No, probably should be on a commission from some of the bourbon companies. I mean, yeah. The dude, Kiwi going to steal away Queen Jolene. Yeah, no, Jolene, that's her name. That's right, Queen Jolene. Yeah. No. I got Mrs. Kiwi to keep me happy, and that's more than enough. Thank you very much. The dude, never heard of that candy bar. Is it in America? No, mate, no. Whitaker's chocolate is not sold here. It should be, but it's not. It's really, really good chocolate. Beagle Bob, is Weller a Jack Daniels brand mid shelf? No, it's not. No, Weller is its own brand. It's reasonably pricey bourbon. I was lucky enough to be given a bottle last year, so but yeah, it's reasonably pricey bourbon. But I'll have to have a look at that. I haven't got the bottles upstairs, but I have to. But it's definitely not a Jack Daniels. Driveway of Misfits, the dude. If it's here in the US, I've never seen it, and I have a huge sweet tooth. There you go. Yeah, go online. You might be able to order it like on Amazon or something. But Whittaker's, like Whittakers, Whittaker, spelled like it sounds really. Whittaker's chocolate. It's just the best. Now they talk about Swiss chocolate being like amazing, and it is pretty good. I'll give them that. But Whittaker's is every bit as good. Gabriel DeMarco. Well, hey, thanks, man. Thanks for the super chat. A small contribution to your next bottle of bourbon. I salute you with some Irish whiskey. Love your channel. Cheers. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. And cheers to you, bud. Cheers to you. And nothing wrong with Irish whiskey. Nothing wrong with Irish whiskey. Old timer F7, Biggle Bob. No, it's not JD of any kind. No, it's not. No, you're right. Don Bella in Leeds, Alabama. Okay. Yep, I knew it. Yeah, I knew it was. I figured it was Alabama somewhere, but that sort of tells you how many years it's been since I've been there. But yeah, it's an awesome place. They got a few cars. They got a handful of old American cars in there as well. But yeah, if you only want to go and see American cars, that's not the museum to go to. There's, I don't know, there may be 4 or 5, like very few, but it's just um, just a smattering of them in amongst the motorbike. But they had a V12 Kawasaki from a guy in England that had built them and took 2 of the straight 6 Kawasaki engines. That they went through. I think it was in the 70s. Kawasaki had I can't remember the CC, but they had a transversely mounted straight 6, and this guy basically took 2 sets of the barrels, made his own crankcase, made his own crank. And worked it, turned the straight 6 Kawasaki into a V12 Kawasaki. And the most impressive thing was, I looked at it and went, the Kawasaki never made this. Like, what? And it just completely confused me and threw me. And I'm like, because it looked for all money like a real deal Kawasaki built motorbike. And it wasn't. It was, privately done in England by I can't say a guy in his garage, because I'm sure he had he was able to cast aluminum crankcase, so the guy had some tooling at his disposal. But yeah, it was superbly done, and it would have been fabulous to hear it run. I can only imagine what it sounded like. But it was so well done. It was awesome. Right, yeah, you made that. Beagle Bob, I'm not a coward. I am just have more talent than bravery. Yeah, that's me, man. I'm just have more talent than bravery. I'm not a coward. Yeah, I know that's a reverse version of it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. No, I've got more bravery than talent. That's my trouble. So I end up on my ass instead of on the bike. Beagle Bob, just looked it up. Sazerac made it at the Buffalo Trace. Okay, Buffalo Trace Distillery. There you go. You've taught me something now. Orlando Pockets, I'm a big fan of Toblerone Dark. Yeah, that's nice too. Granddad's Junk, Whittaker's is a very high quality chocolate, way better than Cadbury. Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right. Cadbury's not as good since it went offshore either. James Martin, love Tuesday Night Live. I'll spread the word. Oh, hey, thanks, man. More the merrier, more the merrier. Hey, now I don't know whether any of you noticed, but I put up did a quick short today, and I put a little post up and talking about next week's guest, February 4th. Kevin Tates is going to join me here, live in the studio / man cave. And yeah, he's going to be here. So, I mean, get all your paint prep questions ready. The guy is an absolute professor of all things paint when it comes to cars. And just a genuinely nice guy. I'm proud to call him a good friend. I met him, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, in the studio at RTM Productions, making a TV show there. And we've been friends ever since. And I've helped him a lot on his cars. He painted my KSV 9000. He is. But yeah, bring your questions, because I know a little bit about paint. Kevin knows. Nobody knows everything, but he's as close as you're going to get. So yeah. Check Bits, the start of your super chats has begun. Yes, it has, mate. I appreciate you kicking that off. I've made more money tonight on my live than I have in all the other previous lives put together already. And I don't even have to do the math on that. So that's cool. I appreciate it. But this is honestly, I don't do Tuesday Night Live to make money. It's just quite fun. It's something to do on a Tuesday night. Spend a couple of hours with you guys just shooting the shit, and it's good. Unfinished project. I don't remember the name, but my boss was gifted an extravagantly priced bourbon, and he gave everyone a taste at the Christmas party. Well, good for him. That's decent on. Was it good? Was it as good as the price tag implied? Driveway of Misfits. Aldi chocolate is actually really good chocolate for the money. I've never had Aldi chocolate. My daughter works part time at Aldi's. Poor university student, so she gives herself a bit of pocket money stocking shelves at Aldi's. I'll have to see if she can't bring me some over. Just purely for the scientific, value of it, just to actually determine how good it is compared to Whittaker's, not, that strictly scientific purposes. The dude, I see some Whittaker's chocolate on Amazon, but it doesn't look like they have the jelly kind you would describe. Yeah, it's called Jelly Tip, which is after like an ice cream, like a pre-made ice cream they used to make. I think you still get them in New Zealand, actually. It was an ice cream that you would pick up at the grocery store or whatever, and it was like a vanilla ice cream, chocolate dipped, and the very tip of it, the first inch and a half was full of jelly, like literally jelly that you make at home, and jelly and ice cream. Yeah, and it's that chocolate is made after that, New Zealand famous ice cream. But yeah. Yeah, they mate. Just pick pick a Whittaker's chocolate that you like the sound of, and you'll love it. I'm sure. Have at it. The dude, a lot of good products at Aldi. Believe it or not, I have a torque wrench my father bought there. Really, at Aldi's, a torque wrench. Good Lord. There you go. Well, there you go. Don Ballot, they have a Vincent Black Lightning. Probably the only place in America you can see one. Oh, okay. The Vincent Black Lightning. You're talking about Barber Motorsports Park. Vincent. I know that I've heard of the Vincents, but the Black Lightning I'm not familiar with, which is really not surprising because I'm not particularly a motorbike guy. But the only place in America you can see one. Well, that's pretty awesome, isn't it? J. Russell French cherry ripe bars are delicious. Yeah, they're not bad, are they? What do we have? Junkyard Geo. Junkyard Geo? You're talking about Alan Milliard, Kiwi. I am? Okay. In regards to what? Beagle Bob, bourbons are like sodas, lots of labels with a handful of companies. Yeah, there's probably some truth to that. Blue Hill Cemetery, thanks for having me over. Enjoyed tonight's show. Well, I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. We enjoyed having you here. Like, the more the merrier, man. Oop, shit, what was that? Something fell off. I don't know what it was. Yeah, Orlando Pockets. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting next week with Kevin. But yeah, I mean, really, yeah. Think about spend the next week thinking about whatever you need to ask him about. Metal prep, paint prep, polishing, buffing, spray gun setup. Whatever it is you're not sure about. Combinations of primers, epoxy primers, polyester primers, urethane primers. All those questions that you have. Next week you have 2 hours, and he will, whatever your question, he will have an answer for. I promise you. Granddad's Junk. Back in the 50s, Rally Free set a record on Vincent. Set a record on Vincent Black Lightning. Okay. Cool. What was the record? Rob Taylor, hey, how are you, mate? Hey, I got all your emails, mate. That was awesome. I've just been so busy. I haven't had time. I saw them again today, and it's like, I've got to answer him before tonight. And then we were here. It was 7 o'clock. So, yeah, they were cool old photos. Brought back a lot of memories from my very early hot rodding days. Yeah, that was cool to see. I really appreciate getting those. That was awesome. So, yeah, thanks again. But yeah, Did we? Do you know if Steve Barry is still around? He's kind of one of my, a guy that I would love to touch base with again. He was just a good dude. Hopefully, he's still around. Um, he was maybe a little bit older than me, so we're all getting on a bit. Um, Alan Shildroth, does he do them AutoZone spots? He does. You see him a lot around on videos and YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, he does quite a bit of promotional stuff for AMD. I'm not sure about AutoZone. I think he has got a tie-in with AutoZone. But yeah, he's been around for a lot of years on more mainstream TV, and he left RTM a few years back, and he's kind of doing his own thing. He has a whole series of paintucation videos out, which are really good for the guys trying to figure out how to do a paint job of their own. And he's very, very polished TV presenter, and he's got a great little not really little, it's bigger than mine, YouTube channel going now. I kind of talked him into testing the water on YouTube, and he kind of got himself aligned with old Derek, Vice Grip Garage, and his channel just took off, and he's got I think he's heading towards 100,000 subscribers now, so he's doing good. Rob Taylor, did you see the photos? Hoping, well, yes was the answer to that. I'm reading the question after I gave the answer. What's on it to be? Hi, Kiwi. How you doing, man? Was your favourite the Whittaker's Jelly Tip chocolate? Yes, that's right. The Whittaker's Jelly Tip. It's to die for. I'd be a full-blown diabetic, though, if I could get my hands on too much of it. So it's kind of a blessing being over here and not being able to get my hands on it. Because we bought a couple of bars back, like big bars, jumbo bars, and yeah, they didn't last long. I'm sure someone else was eating them as well, not just me, but I haven't been able to find the culprit as yet, but I'm working on it. Oh, what's on it to be? They have it. Amazon have it, the jelly tip. Well, you shouldn't have told me that. I'm going to have to go and order some now. God damn it. I found the jelly tip on Amazon, $45 for 4 bars, plus $48 shipping. Holy moly. And that's is that American dollars? Holy moly. That's that's nearly $100. Wow. It's like $25 a bar. Ooh. That's expensive chocolate, man. Wow. Oh well. Yeah, I'd like to say it's worth every penny of that, but that's a lot of money. Deans of Nomatica, bourbon and whiskey are the same, but the difference between the two is that bourbon is named that because it's exclusively made in Kentucky only. There's a little bit of difference in the way they make it too, though, I believe. But they are pretty close. I mean, if you like bourbon, most people that like bourbon like whiskey. They just prefer bourbon, and most people that prefer bourbon, prefer whiskey, will drink bourbon as well. They just prefer whiskey. It's not like the difference between whiskey and gin. It's they're definitely similar. David Worley, hello. Oh, hey man, how you doing? Hello, Chris. We'll be stopping by tomorrow. Have you had any Rowan's Creek or Noah's Mill made by Willett? No, I have not. I've got to do. David's got the 55 Chevy truck that I'm working on right now, and he's coming to pick it up tomorrow. So I better pull my finger out in the morning and get the video done of it. Cool. Glad to see you on the live there, David. Junkyard Geo, the bike, 12-cylinder, homemade. Yeah, it was. I mean, technically homemade, yeah. Oh, Alan Millyard from Thatchcam, Berkshire, England, is a mechanical engineer and a custom bike builder for over 25 years. He has designed and created numerous ingenious motorcycle specials. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't have told you who did it, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure I read it at the time, but that's long gone out of my memory. But yeah, all I can say is I saw they had the V8 Kawasaki that he built, and they had the V12 there, and the guy is exceptional. Mechanical engineer, it just doesn't describe like what he did with those two bikes was above and beyond mechanical engineering. The guy is a genius, in my opinion. Like, it would be so easy to tell. It would have been so easy to tell anybody. I think, maybe there's motorbike hardcore guys that would have known, but looking at the bike, if you'd said this was a prototype that Kawasaki built but didn't put into production, I'd have been, okay, that I would have believed that 100%, because the bike, there was nothing on either of those bikes that was jerry-rigged, thrown together, done in a way that, just to get it done. It was as perfect as it could have been. Joe K, hey Kiwi, miss you over at Tony's. Yeah, I missed that whole thing too, buddy, to be honest. I used to have a lot of fun on the Wednesday nights with Tony, but the ball's in Tony's court. But yeah. Cord LB ordered Kevin's DVD set yesterday. He's always been likable. Yeah, he his on-screen persona is, as you say, very likable, and his on-screen persona is who he is. That's Kevin Tate. He is no different. I've walked around shows with him, and I've been just out, like on a recreational, going for dinner, going for whatever with him, and he is the same guy. It doesn't matter where he is. Just a lovely guy. Thunderbird 1968. Hey Chris, I saw a video from Eastwood with me in it. Really? With me in it? Huh. Was I with Kevin, or was that just okay? I don't remember doing a video with Eastwood. Unless you tell me more about that. But where did you see that? And send me a link if you can. I'm interested in that. What that's about. Or maybe I'm just having a blank spot in my memory. I don't know. Tavo, hey, how you doing, man? You got a grumpy old man gate crashing this party. There you go. Grumpy Australian. There's no such thing, is there? Aren't you all just happy as can be? Well, apart from your sore thumb. How is that hand coming along, mate? Hopefully it's getting better. Good to see you making progress on the roof of that Valiant. Josh H, think Scuba Steve will join a live with you? Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. Yeah, I was thinking about that. It could be good to get Steve along, just to kind of, let you guys get to know him a little better. He's a good dude. Yeah, I think that'll be happening fairly soon, I would say. Garth Cook, hey Kiwi, greetings from New Zealand. Cheers, Garth. Well, good to have you along, mate. It's a little special for me having the Kiwi subscribers in and joining in, because I know the time is not particularly convenient for the Aussie and New Zealand viewers, because what's it there, mid late morning over there, coming on lunchtime on a Wednesday when most people are meant to be working. So that's probably why Tavo's in here. He's probably having a quick lunch break and just tuned in. But that's good. I'd rather have you guys in for half an hour, an hour, or whatever you've got for lunch, than not at all. So it's cool. John M, gin equals pine needles. Yeah, I can't do gin. It's terrible stuff. I can do vodka and tequila and all those drinks. Not a preference, but I can drink them. But gin, oh no, it's horrible. It's like paint thinners. It's just awful. Yeah. Granddad's junk bourbon is a little sweeter. I think that's probably fair to say, yeah. Beagle Bob, 51% corn mash bill for bourbon and aged in oak barrel. Whiskey is a grain liquor aged in a barrel. there are more specifics. Yeah, there are some differences, but there's some similarities too. Tavo, I go for cheap scotch as a daily. For a decent night, I'll grab a wild turkey. Yeah, wild turkey's not bad. Yeah, alcohol's a little bit cheaper in Aussie than it is in New Zealand. It's a hellacious price in New Zealand. It's terrible. Don Ballot, Kevin is a very cool dude. Yeah, he really is. Yeah, as I said, I'm proud to call him a good friend. So he's just a nice guy, and I'm always, if he ever needs any help on one of his projects, it's like I'm there because I know, he's already done a lot for me, so I'm happy to pay him back. And like I could give him any amount of time, and I know it would come back to me. Kevin's he's that guy. Granddad's junk, Tavo, you're drinking gravel rashes, hard on the gut. Yeah. Beagle Bob had a Hawaiian chill tequila that was very good a couple of years ago. Yeah, some of the tequila's not bad. Dicky Farley, hey, how you doing, man? Good to have you along. John M. Kevin's love for what he does really comes through in his videos. Yeah, it does. And it's kind of fun watching him do more YouTube stuff because his sense of humor is coming out more. When he was at like RTM Productions at Power Block TV and those shows, he was very much more constrained by the management, and now he can kind of be the goofy Kevin that I know a bit better. So yeah, it's fun watching him watching that come out on his YouTube channel. And you really should go and if you guys haven't seen his YouTube channel, go and look him up. Kevin Tate's Paintucation. It's he's got good videos on there. He's building a Camaro that he got off Vice Grip Garage, and I've helped him a little bit with that. He's building a Chevy truck for Vice Grip. Not building it, but he's doing quite a bit of the work on a Chevy truck for Vice Grip Garage, putting a paint job on it and some suspension and stuff like that. Which is really helping to promote his channel. And that's sort of cross-pollination of YouTube channels. Derek's got a massive amount of subscribers, so Kevin helps him a little bit, and Derek just by default through the sheer volume of his channel helps Kevin a lot. So if I can work a deal like that with Derek, then that's a possibility. Grab onto his coattails a little bit. It's like I'm not too proud to do that. The guy's worked long and hard, old Derek, and he's got his millions of subscribers, and he's a force to be reckoned with. So if you can align yourself with someone like that, then all the better. Now, hang on. Jeff R., do you know much about 4-barrel carb spacers, benefits, and tune considerations if installing one? They do. Okay, 4-barrel spacers. It depends. There's. What's the best way of doing? Tune considerations. They don't change your, the amount of fuel you typically need to put in. They do tend to change your power band a little bit. With the airflow and stuff like that, they will change. When your power really kicks in. But typically they don't change your tuning that much. They won't change your ignition timing at all. And you might need slightly richer jets, maybe, if you get a lot more airflow. But I mean, a lot of the time, you've got issues like under hood clearance and stuff like that stop you having an extra spacer and stuff like that. But I've got a red Mustang Fastback in the shop at the moment that's got a stroked out 427 in it, and that was on the dyno, and they've put they put inch thick spacers on that, and that did increase the horsepower. So there are some horsepower benefits, not massive. I mean, it's an inanimate object; it's a block of aluminum with 4 holes in it. So it's not, it's not directly going to increase horsepower dramatically, but it can smooth out flow. It's all, getting the air into an engine, and it's all about flow and smooth flow and airspeed and stuff like that. So yeah, they definitely can help. But it's not like you can put a spacer on and you go down the road and you go, oh my god, it's going so fast. It's not going to be like that. It's small increments, but they're there. They're increments, and the spacers aren't expensive. So bang for your buck, they're pretty good. But yeah, I would put one on, and if you've got room under the hood and you don't need to worry about hood scoops or whatever, then go for it. That's why they have the low rise, mid rise, high rise, to suit the various aspects of your car. Thunderbird 68. Yeah, you were helping Kevin on a car. It was on the Eastwood channel, but I don't know where it aired originally. Yeah, that does kind of ring a bell. I remember doing something with Kevin. It was a few years ago now. I probably wasn't quite as grey then. But yeah, it's amazing. Like, you do a video, and then like years later, like I was on the American Pickers show a couple of times, and and that was, gosh, 8-9 years ago now. And people get a message from someone, I just saw you on American Pickers, because it's getting replayed, for the 10,000th time. But someone's seen it for the first time. It's amazing. Like, once you're out there on the internet, you're out there, and you just never quite know when it's going to pop up again. Junkyard Geo, he does this at home, Kiwi. That's how all his bikes turn out. He does it at home, really? He built those bikes you talked about. He's extremely gifted. Yeah. I didn't realise he did them at home. I thought he'd have like a pretty advanced workshop. But he sounds like a British Burt Munro almost, but a little bit more modern day. But yeah, to say he's extremely gifted is a serious understatement. A serious understatement. But I get what you're saying. Yeah. Granddad's Junk. Pity you're so far away. I've still got some whiskey I distilled about 10 years ago. Bet that's getting nice. Gives a warm glow going down. Awesome. Yeah, it is a shame. But, maybe one day. Garth Cook. 3 p.m, and good old. Where are you at, Garth? Was that Aussie or New Zealand? I forget now. But yeah, I mean, a time of the day when most of us are at work. So yeah. Tavo, pretty well using the hand as normal now, Kiwi, just being gentle. Thanks for asking. Hey, I know what it's like to hurt yourself at work, man, or even doing your hobby. So yeah, I know only too well. So yeah, hopefully, you're very doubtful you'll do that again. But hey, I mean, shit happens sometimes. It just can't be helped. So but you're healing up, so that's cool. No nerve damage or anything like that, I trust. Driveway of Misfits. Do Aussies and Kiwis do afternoon tea like the Brits do? Absolutely, yeah. Like, part of your workday in New Zealand and Australia is like a 10 o'clock morning tea and a 3 o'clock afternoon tea. That's a standardised kind of 10-minute break that all workers get. 10 a.m, 3 p.m, and then kind of lunch 12 till 12:30 or 12 till 1. That's what written into most working contracts is everyone gets 10 minutes, 10 and 3. Eagle Bob, bourbon is whiskey, kind of like squares and rectangles. That's not a bad comparison, actually. Yeah, no, that's not bad. That's not bad. Don Ballard, just FYI, the Vincent Black Lightning went 150 mile an hour in 1948. Wow, that's pretty good. That's quick. In 48, that was quick. Damn. Tavo, 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. Yeah, so that used to be on a T-shirt years ago. I've seen a few guys wearing those T-shirts, but yeah, a long time ago. Tavo, yeah, lunch break here, nearly 1 p.m. Oh, you're going to be dipping out on us again then, Tavo. But hey, it's all good, man. As long as you dropped in, that's the key thing. Yeah. Don Ballot getting the Cougar back anytime soon. Don't know. Don't know. Honest answer. Don't know. Not sure. I've got enough to do at the moment, and I'm not chasing him for it. To be honest, I'd like to finish that car one day, but got a lot to do. Phil Buckley, Alan and Kim Britton would have a good chat. Yeah, yeah. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Phil Buckley. I used to know a Bill Buckley. I don't know whether that's any connection or not. Rallied a Vauxhall Chevette V8 back in the day. Thunderbird, yeah, Chris, she looked much younger in that video. He actually mentioned Kiwi customs and classics in the video. Yeah, well, that's Kevin. He'll always make sure he gives you a plug. You know, he's all about giving people credit for what they're doing. You didn't have to rub that in that I look much younger. Just a bit younger would have been, quite sufficient. But it's all right. I won't hold that against you. Phil Buckley, I'm listening in the truck. There you go. Tavo, not my job, Kiwi. Only the lunch break. No smoko. Oh, really? Yeah, that's yeah. We didn't call it. Yeah, we call him smoko, didn't we? Really? Not well. Morning tea and or smoko. No smoko. That's a bit tough, mate. Wow. You got to work 4 hours straight. That sucks. Richard Lane, I just seen your video making a floor pan with a bead roller. It's a great help as I'm currently trying to make one myself. Well, mate, I mean, that's awesome. I really do genuinely hope it helps. And here's the thing, like the first time, if you're doing it for the first time or second time or whatever, if it doesn't work out quite right, it's a couple of square feet of sheet metal. Don't beat yourself up. Just put it to one side and do it again. Every time you do it, you'll get better. So, if it's not quite what you want it to be, just put it to one side, make it an ornament, or cut it up for something else another day, and start over. It's another $5 worth of sheet metal. Just make another one, and your next attempt will be better. It will be. I promise you. Josh Homan, 150 would be breathtakingly fast in 48. When most cars could barely break 80. Oh, exactly, mate. I really. Thunderbird 68. Don't worry, you look better now anyway. Oh, nice save. Good save. I'll take that. I'll take that. What's on it to be? Driveway of Misfits. I know you thought of the Goober peanut butter jelly immediately. Goober peanut butter and jelly. Ugh. One thing I can't do is peanut butter. Oh my God, it's terrible. Most people think I'm weird for that, but I don't like nuts of any kind, and peanut butter is like the worst. It smells, to me, I know it doesn't smell bad, but to me, I don't know why. I'm not allergic to it. I'm not one of these anaphylactic, like don't breathe on me if you've eaten peanut butter because I'll die. I'm not one of them. But something about peanut butter, it smells so bad. But it's just me. Even when the kids would have it, kids would have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or jam sandwich. And it's like, oh, don't get near me with that shit. It just stinks. I know it's pretty weird, but hey, I'm a foreigner and we're all a bit weird. So what are you going to do? Glenn Nickerson, just practice with cardboard. I bet it goes through the bead roller pretty easy. Oh, yeah, it would go through the bead roller pretty easy. It's not a terrible idea to practice following your lines and stuff. One bit of advice I'll give you is if you can mark your lines out, if you can get some of that engineer's blue, you can get it in an aerosol, and I use it sometimes. I'll spray it on, and it kind of turns, it's like a dye. It's like a purpley blue dye, and you spray it onto clean bare metal, and then you can scribe on it, and it's a really easy line to see. And having that really, really thin line makes, I don't know why exactly, but it makes it a lot easier to follow than like an eighth of an inch wide Sharpie line. I always find when I'm trying to follow a Sharpie line, I do this a little bit. I'm going from one side of the Sharpie line to the other. And when you've got a little scribe, like just the thickness of a scribe line through that blue, engineer's blue, you follow it much better. It's easier to follow, and you'll get a much nicer, straighter line with it. I can kind of fudge it now. I've done enough that I can get away with it. But yeah, I do use a bit of that engineer's blue from time to time, if I'm trying to be super accurate on something. Because you don't have to remember which side of the Sharpie mark you actually want to either cut or bead roll or break, like in a bending break. So yeah, that a rattle can of that engineer's blue is can be quite worthwhile. Thunderbird 68, thoughts on enamel over epoxy? Yeah, no reason not to. Epoxy's very good base coat. It's very tough and durable. It sticks to anything, but once it's dry, they typically have different epoxies will have a different window of drying time and recoat time. And if you go beyond the recoat, nothing will stick to it. It doesn't paint. Your enamel won't stick to it very well if it's gone. Typically about 24 to 48 hours. Some I've seen as much as 7 days. But after that point, you've got to give them a thorough sanding. Otherwise, your enamel won't stick because it's so tough. It won't. The chemicals. You don't get a very good chemical key. And Kevin can go through with us a lot of this and explain it better than me. But yeah, you have two ways your paint sticks, and that's through a chemical keying or basically a mechanical keying, which is scratches in the surface of what that you're painting onto. If you've got scratches, the new paint holds into the scratches. And the scratches just what is there. I don't mean deep scratches. I'm meaning like your 320 or your 400 grit sanding scratches. Because sanding is just scratching the surface. So yeah, that's your two ways of bonding, and the epoxy will not allow. It's so tough. The chemicals don't really soak into it and create a chemical key. And if you haven't sanded it, it'll be quite smooth, so you don't get a mechanical key. So yeah, it'll come off. So yeah, you make sure you recoat within that window, or you've got to really give it a good thorough sanding. But yeah, tune in next Tuesday, and Kevin can probably explain it better than that. He's a really good teacher. He puts the instructions together in a way that's very easy to understand. Beagle Bob, can't do peanut butter. I'll be unsubscribing now. Damn it! Don't do that, man. Oh yeah, no, I really can't, mate. I couldn't eat to keep you as a subscriber. I couldn't even eat a teaspoon of peanut butter. I couldn't do it. I no, just no. Granddad's junk Tavo. You still working? I thought you'd be retired. No, he's going to be like me. He'll work till he drops. Tavo's one of those guys. He won't stop working. Driveway of misfits. I won't eat peanut butter sandwiches, but peanut butter and chocolate equals manna from heaven. Oh, you'd like Whittaker's. If you ever see that Whittaker's peanut slab, that is chocolate with actual peanuts in it. And the people that like peanuts rave about that shit. Again, I couldn't eat it for money. I couldn't eat it. But peanut butter and chocolate, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not peanut butter in Whittaker's peanut butter slabs, but it's actual peanuts. supposedly a very good thing. Glenn Nickerson, you got chocolate on my peanut butter. Oh no. Different people like different things. That is all that it is. Oh, that's absolutely right, Josh. That's absolutely right. Who's texting me at this time of night? Oh, buddy of mine's just become a granddad. Ha! That's cool. That's cool. Sorry, I had to read that one. He doesn't text me that often, and he's a good man, so I knew it was important. And he's just become a granddad. Yahoo! Uh, David Worley. If you want to give me a day tomorrow to do a video on your truck, that wouldn't hurt, buddy. To be honest, and I still haven't worked up your invoice yet, so yeah, that'd give me a little bit of breathing space. If you want to come pick it up Thursday, that'd be cool. Hang on. I'm running out. I'm getting behind here. Chavo, I got lucky with that roof donor car. It just keeps giving. Almost every rust repair I need to do on the project is a usable cut from the donor. Not much fabrication on my list. Well, that's cool, man. That's the beauty of a donor car, especially if it was a nice rust-free one. Why did it become a parts car if it was that good? Was there one area or something that was bad on it or damaged or something? That's interesting because I mean they're sought after cars over in your neck of the woods, aren't they? What's on it to be? Kiwi, I want to make a heater box delete plate for my 60s Valiant firewall. I have the original plastic heater box to use as a template. Okay, well that's good. That's going to make it a lot easier. Yeah, I would rough cut it out. Using the heater box as your pattern, just cut it slightly oversized, and then bead roll some little some beads into it around the kind of close an inch and a half in from the edges, which is kind of what the factory would have done back in the would have been something like that. It's going to give you a little bit of a semi-factory look to it. Probably just a single step down, so that you'd have like an inch and a quarter of the face that bolts to the car, and then step out towards the radiator, and then across, and then back down towards the firewall. Well, you'd be going up and down. So yeah, firewall towards the radiator, up, back towards the firewall, and up again. Something like that. You should be able to make that look fairly factory. I hope that makes sense. I know what I mean. Your Digital USA. Hi, Chris, Manny, and Richie. Oh, hey, mate. Hey, Richie. How you doing? Love the show. Well, that's cool, man. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying it. It's a couple of Kiwis that live here in Nashville, Kiwi couple, that friends of ours. We've shared the odd beer over a rugby game, or beer or three or more. Yeah. The dude, you ever use SPI epoxy? Not SPI, I haven't, no. But I've heard of it. SPI is good stuff. Yeah. Thunderbird 68. Wait, did I hear that correct? That Kevin is on the live next week. You did hear that correct. Next week, live, right here. That side of me, somewhere here on the couch with Kiwi and Pee-wee, and we better bring Kiwi Kev as well to sit there with Kevin Tates, the two Kevs. Might even have to give him a Kev T-shirt. What do you think, guys? A Kiwi Kev Super Kev T-shirt for Mr. Kevin Tates. I think that's the least we can do for having him along, or for him gracing us with his presence, I should say. I think that's a good idea. Tech bits and pieces. Kevin has plenty of vids on the garbage Camaro, as he called it. Yes, he does. Yep. And I'm sure if you've watched those videos, you'll have seen me on there with him, helping him with it. It's awesome. It's great to go down to the shop. It's a change of scenery for me, which is you need that now and again. And I get to go down there for a day. I just help him with his car. It gives me a little bit of exposure on YouTube, which is I mean, be honest, that's not a bad thing. And But really the key is you just get to kind of just be silly, goof off. You have a few laughs, a few more laughs off camera than on camera, but we have a few laughs on camera as well. Um, yeah, and it's just a good day, and it goes really fast, and it's I kind of call it work, but it's not really work. It's just having a good day is what it is. Um, so yeah, I do. Yeah, he knows that. Yeah, whenever he needs some help, he can just ring me and I'll come down. I'll say it's really not work. Glenn Nickerson, I usually throw a couple of coats of urethane primer surfacer over epoxy as soon as it's dry. I've gone back months later, give it a scuff and top coated over it with no issues. Yes, yep. Yeah, you can do that with urethane, and really you need to leave it like at least 4 weeks, at least a month for it to shrink. That's the drawback with urethane; it shrinks a lot. So leaving it, for a couple of months is perfect. And then just a light scuff and away you go. You won't have any issues. It's not a bad way to do it. What I usually do is epoxy, then high build polyester, because it sands a bit easier than urethane, like for blocking, for trying to get your panels dead straight. The high build primer is really good for that. Then usually hit it with a decent coat of urethane to do that 400 final 400 sand with, and paint it. And that seems to be it. And say that's what I do. If you really want to do it the right way, listen to what Kevin's got to say next week, because he's painted so many more cars than I have. And I'm usually on the phone with him going, what should I do here? What do you think I should put on next? Because he's the professor at that shit. Paul Cochran, peanut butter and jelly sandwich with chili. Ugh. Ugh. Oh no. Some of you guys are strange. Like, I'm sorry, Paul, but that, no. Good Lord. But I'm sure you love it. But yeah, oh no, to me, it makes the stomach roll. Tavo, I can't afford to retire. My financial health is barely any better than my mental health. Yeah, there you go. I can relate to that, buddy. I really can. I really can. Beagle Bob, walnuts are probably my favourite nuts. I can't wait to have a tree again. No, can't do walnuts either. No, nope. Dude, I'll take your word for it, Paul. There you go. Don Ballett, silver blueprint pencil works great for laying out lines on steel. Silver blueprint pencil. I'm not familiar with that. Huh. Okay. I have to have a look for one of those. Always open to new ideas. Josh Homan, congratulations to him. Yeah, I think that was him texting again. You can probably hear about it. Oh, no, it's just the same message beeping at me. Oh, here's a little bubba. Very cool. Very cool. Tavo, lots of rust in the floors, plenum, etc. Oh, okay, fair enough. It just didn't rust much where mine did. There you go. That's the match made in heaven, isn't it? Barracuda, the peanut slab is way smaller than it used to be. That's what my wife was saying. Yeah, she was complaining bitterly about that because she's a peanut butter fan. And then it's like, stay away. Like she has to stay away from me when she's been eating that shit. I was like, but yeah, she loves it. Yeah, but she was complaining that they're way smaller. Thunderbird 68. Wow, that live will be great. Well, hopefully, yeah. I mean, yeah, hopefully I'm going to try and do a couple of shorts, try and promote it a little bit next week, like the next 7 days. Try and get some, make sure everybody knows about it. Because obviously you guys watching tonight know about it now. But yes, getting the rest of the subscribers to the channel, all knowing about it as well. So, hopefully we'll have a big turnout for the live, which would be cool. Robert Beckler, Cool Cat Kevin, good videos. Yeah, he does. He does good videos. He's the consummate professional when it comes to making videos or TV or whatever you want to call it. Life, Jeeps and Travel, Aussie AL, just leaving Franklin myself. Oh, really? There you go. Tech bits and pieces, having laughs while working, quotation marks, makes it an enjoyable time. Oh, it really does. It really does. Tech bits and pieces. Peanut butter, jelly, and chili equals burning ring of fire. Oh, there's a mental picture I didn't need. Jeez. Wow, time's flying. It's 8:51 already. Wow. We've got 9 minutes, guys. Which is just as well, because I'm about out. Well, not about. I am out of bourbon. So there we go. I got 9 minutes. Actually, I don't have any more after I sign off. So getting a little bit of feedback from my bourbon as it is. So it's all good. Tavo, rather cool there for the time of year, but looking at 40s on the weekend, 40 Celsius. That's hot. What's that? That 40, I think, is 100 degrees. So, yeah, that's hot. Beagle Bob, when your channel blows up, don't forget about it. I will most certainly not forget about you guys. No. No, that was one of the cool things about my trip back to New Zealand was actually meeting, a number of the subscribers and, putting faces to names on the screen and, the people that would comment regularly on videos and stuff like that, and getting to meet a few of those was really fun for me. And I think they enjoyed it too. I think they did. So I wouldn't mind trying to do that. My wife and I talked about it. I might try and get to a few more car shows around the country and just do a video or two on some of the car shows around and try and do like a little bit of a meet and greet for people that subscribe that are in that area that want to come along and say hi. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. It's fun. And yeah, so we might try and do that a little more this year, kind of get out and about a little bit. And I don't just mean the very local car shows, just around the country. Flights are cheap enough. It's not expensive to go and fly somewhere for a weekend and catch a car show or two and meet a few people. And yeah, I think it'll be good. Madman machinations. Drink the can of Quake State. It's a fake can. I mean, that's going to be hard to quench your thirst with that, isn't it? Like, it won't even hold much. But I hear what you're saying, but Tavo, 40 degrees equals 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. Driveway of misfits. Don't go all Hollywood on us when you hit the 1 million subscribers. Well, I'd be quite happy to hit 100,000, let alone 1 million. But yeah, one day. No, look, I don't think I've got. I'd like to think I don't have Hollywood in me. Like I don't think I would. I really don't think I would do that. It's just still going to be me, working in the shop, doing what I do. I haven't, in some ways I haven't got the energy to be someone else. This is just me, and take it or leave it, and that's the way it's going to stay. having 1 million subscribers is not going to make me better at what I do. I just do what I do and, do a reasonable job of it. And you guys seem to enjoy it. And that's what it's about. Josh Homan, Quaker State wouldn't taste very good. No, I don't think it would. Madman, yeah, he's out of bourbon. So, yep, we're out of bourbon and almost out of time. Life, Jeeps and Travel. Have to do the Holden show up north. There's a Holden show up north? Tell me more. What are you talking about? I haven't heard of a Holden show in America. Don Ballot, grilled cheese with chili, and chili doesn't have beans. That's true. Billy's chili is not supposed to have beans, is it? The dude, Kiwi, if you ever do Carlisle or Hershey's, I'll be there. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm going to look, I don't know how many shows I'll try and get to this year, but I'm definitely going to try and do, some more. Yeah. Richard Ray, another great live music. Live music? Tavo, heading back to work, guys. Thanks for the chat, Kiwi. Take care, everyone. Yep, take care, Tavo. Look after yourself, mate. And, look after those hands, brother. You need them. Makes it easy. Beagle Bob makes it easier to fake drinking it. Oh, dear. Tavo enjoyed being here. Well, that's good, mate. Tech bits and pieces. It takes time to build up subscribers. Yeah, it does. I mean, I watch it. Like most days I'll look in, and some days you pick up five or 10 subscribers, and some days you go backwards 5. And I'm not sure why that is. I get a few people unsubscribing, and it's like it's kind of hard not to take that a bit personally. But it's like, but I guess you can't please all the people all the time. But all you can do is your best, or just do you. Richard Ray, another great live stream, Kiwi. Keep them coming. Thank you, sir. Toll and Tony, I'll take it. Tech bits and pieces. A reasonable job is a big understatement. Look, thanks, man. I mean, there's other guys around that do it at least as good as me, if not better. I do my best, and I just that's a little bit of a Kiwi thing. I think is being reasonably humble as well. So yeah. Barracuda, those cows for fresh air were a bad idea for Russ. The 57 Chev had a better system. Yeah, that came in through the inner fenders, didn't it? Like along the inner fenders and then in through the firewall. Probably was a better idea, really, yeah. Life, Jeeps and Travel. Yep, we'll text it to you. Yeah, do that, bud. Yeah, please do. Please do. That number, just Google me. You'll see the phone number, and that's my cell phone. So just text it to me. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So there's a Holden show. I'm there. I'm going. Driveway of Misfits. YouTube routinely unsubscribes people from channels for no apparent reason. Really? Well, that makes me feel better. Maybe it's people just not deciding they don't like me. Maybe it's just YouTube doing their thing. Paul Cochran, chili without beans is just meat sauce. Oh dear. Gosh, last week we were talking about EMPs. This week we're talking about chocolate and peanuts and chili. You just never know quite what's going to come up, do you? But it's good. It keeps it interesting. 57 Chev takes air in around the headlights. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, and then there's ducting goes all along the upper part of the inner fender, isn't there, between the outer fender and the inner fender, I think, or something like that. Been a while since I've been under the hood of a 57 and thought about that. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's it. 9 o'clock. Time's up. Time for me to go to bed. Probably not have another bourbon, but I might have a little nightcap. But anyway. All right. Well, thanks, guys, so much for tuning in and coming along. Thanks for the super chats. That's awesome. That's like 1,000% up on previous weeks, which is cool. I appreciate it. And yeah, appreciate all your comments. Look after yourselves. Go and work on your hot rods. Have a good time. And just all of you guys, look after yourselves and each other. All right. Take it easy, guys. And we'll see you next week with Kevin Tets. Don't miss it. All right. See you then. Take it easy, guys.